little box with it with Vegemite.
Yeah, Vegemite.
So I thought, oh, it's not. It's choco pasta.
Oh, you thought it was going to be sweet.
Pinotto. So
and I tasted first and and she was nice.
Oh, awful.
When I was in Holland, when we went to the Batavia, we went to this little a diner.
Yeah.
And there was this raw fish. What do you guys eat? What's that?
Oh yeah, haring.
Haring with onions.
Oh yeah, so he slapped one of these things together.
Oh, you have to eat it like this?
Man, it was like...
Now, let's start.
Yeah. Of course.
Diana made up the most questions, and of course she asked the other fans to think as well. So this is about a movie. You already answered it, I think, but we are very curious about the movie. Is there any news on when the filming of Batavia will start, and when do you think the movie will be released in the cinema?
Plan to shoot April this year, and I would suggest hopefully towards the end of this year, early next year.
Okay. And it's based on a book?
Kind of. It's based on it's based on primarily the stuff that came out of Pelsart's journal. But it's a work of fiction, the movie itself, but the history that we deal with it's as it was.
It's real.
Yeah.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feel like it happened.
Yeah,
you can learn something about it.
Yeah.
You do. Yeah, at the same time we're shooting the movie, we're putting together a doco that kind of, will be used for television networks to promote it.
Okay.
That'll go into, the Western Australian Museum where they have,
a part, eh?
the part of the boat.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's been built, and then, some of the artifacts and some of the human remains that have been, exhumed from the shallow graves on the island.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a thriller and just kind of 90-minute film, and by the end of it you kind of want to know more.
Did you need permission from the government to film that?
Yeah,
to shoot
there's
that?
permits, and we working closely with the fisheries in WA.
Okay.
Yeah, they want everybody kind of will benefit out of the story being told.
Okay.
Did you pick Brett for the role of Coop, or he came by himself? I want to do that.
Choose that character.
Yeah.
No, I had him
he
from the day one to do that.
Okay.
Yeah, Brett's he's got a great range, and I think he'll have a lot of fun with the role. He'll be great. This character of Coop is just a nasty piece of work.
We see him in a very different role, and wow.
Yeah, he kind of it's a major role, and I needed someone that could really, go the full range.
Yes.
This character's got to be kind of like a coiled snake.
Okay. Oh, wow.
That's
a challenge for him.
You just want to, ready to strike, and he's always kind of. So he's the kind of character that you'd always take a couple of steps back from. So he'll have fun with that. Brett's his physicality is quite striking.
Yeah.
So we're going to play this character where it'll be quite menacing, be quiet, but just know that he's ready to.
Yeah.
There's a couple of scenes where he explodes and it's quite confronting. You kind of want the way you want that character to you want the audience to be going. I hope that guy gets shot.
Yeah,
I hope he gets
okay.
He's got it. Yeah.
He's got to get rid of him. You want to go and smack him one.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Is Coop based on or related to an historical character? Or
this character Coop is just that's not the right way to put it. He's a present day kind of. He's a link. A link to what's actually some of the history. His character. They think he's the bad guy. I'm not going to give too much away.
No.
Okay.
He's a bad guy, but not for the reasons you think.
Okay. Well, that's enough.
Okay.
Enough information for us.
How did you get Andy McDowell involved in this Australian project? And is she involved?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
she still is?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, this character, she plays kind of the lead female.
Okay.
And I wrote that originally as an American sort of professor.
Okay.
I wanted to have this kind of international flavour, and not specifically because you know, you need North American actors, or you need Hollywood actors to break North American market. But I think because that character also has got to kind of got to have someone that can be able to be a bit crazy, but you don't want to. At the start, you don't want anything to give it away that you know where she ends up, but it's got to be quite convincing. Okay. And she's a great actress.
Yes, she is.
Yes,
she's amazing.
Are you in a general sense interested in Australian history, or especially in this story, and why?
Well, the way this came about through when I was doing Lost and Found. The end of it, I had a client that you know guys working with saying, "What are we going to do next?" And he sort of started talking about Australian history, and I went, "Oh yeah, sure." Yeah. And then for some reason he mentioned Batavia.
Okay.
And I just remember thinking, yeah, that's interesting, because I remember seeing a doco years ago. I just remember it for some reason, his name Batavia.
Yeah.
And then it was a ship, and that's all I kind of knew. And then I just started the research on it, and it was like, wow, this is a very cool story too. So how do you tell it?
Mm-hmm.
And I thought, well, it's got to be present day, because a lot of period stuff turns people off.
Yeah.
So it wasn't specifically setting out to tell an Australian story, because it's really not.
Mm.
It's not. It's more of a Dutch story. You know, it's not even. You could walk down the street in Melbourne and ask 10 people.
Nobody knows.
Be unusual if somebody says, yeah, I know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, we learned it in history at school.
We don't.
Yeah.
We don't. When I was doing the research, you know, there was historical evidence that, for instance, you know, within I think a couple of generations of you know Dutch people being shipwrecked, there were blonde-headed Aboriginals, for instance, evidence of you know Dutch words being used within the local language.
Yeah.
It's my
for telephone.
But it's not an Australian story as such, whereas it probably should be.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, if who knows? But it would be. It's more to do with your.
Your history. Yeah.
You've got 125 of your countrymen were butchered.
Yeah.
On some islands off the coast of Western Australia.
Okay.
You know, it's pretty full on. And in the, you know, in the Western Australian Museum, the Maritime Museum, there are, you know, the remains, the skeletal remains of some of these victims. But then when you look at that from a storytelling point of view or a, you know, potential movie, it's pretty exciting. Yeah. It just happened to be off the coast of WA. Wherever it would be still pretty enthralling.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said a lot about Brett. He's a nice actor, but can you describe in a few words how it is to work with an actor like Brett?
Yeah. He's very conscientious. He's very organic.
Mm-hmm.
He takes it very. He takes it seriously.
Yeah. Yes, he thought it.
Which I mean that in a good way.
Yeah.
He's a perfectionist.
Perfectionist.
Yeah.
To a certain degree. Yeah, but it doesn't kind of like we were getting that stuff down through 2 or 3 takes.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff with Brett's work in Lost and Found.
Yes.
Like for instance, in the telephone booth, you know, when he's on the phone.
Yeah.
That we shot that twice.
Wow.
That was it.
That's amazing.
Yes.
So we just let him go.
Yeah.
But Brett was kind of he was a joy.
Yeah.
Just a joy to work with.
Nice.
You know, you'd ask certain questions and I just do my best to try and give him the insights and then he just let him go do his thing, you know. You don't kind of need a guy like that doesn't need a lot of direction, just leave him alone.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know, in fact, the end, that scene where he was in the school,
Yes.
that was his idea.
Okay.
I had it written differently.
Okay.
I don't remember what I had, but we talked about it. He said, I think this would be better.
Yeah.
And it just worked a treat.
Nice.
So he was very collaborative.
Mm.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a joy to work with him.
Yeah.
I was very lucky, very privileged.
Yeah, and that's why you're going to work with him again, I think.
Yeah, I think I'm very lucky to be able to do that. I'm looking forward to it.
Great.